This is the Tortugas Mountain Recreation Area. You can see the turtle motif embedded in the sidewalk there. It's a shade structure, interpretive sign, and there's the mountain itself. So today I'm going to be going up and partly around that mountain. I don't really know my exact route, but I think I'm going to go up what I call the Three Rocks Trail, which is on the north side, join up with the straight up trail to go up to the top, go down the A trail, and then we'll see. I'll probably go around the south end of the mountain and come back to this lot. I estimate that will be something like 4 miles, maybe a little less. We shall see. The trail heads right over here by the parking lot. Dogs are allowed. Please clean up after your dog. I'm coming up on the junction with the loop trail. Pretty close to the parking lot. I've gone 0.13 mile. Today I'll be turning right. So I'm headed roughly northwest toward the Robledo Mountains. Doñana Mountains are center frame. And the bulk of the mountain is off to my left. That plant is Spanish dagger, sometimes called Torres Yucca. However, the binomial name Yucca torii has been deprecated. It's now called Yucca faxoniana, just in case you're curious. Those things are all over the place. You can't really see how much they dominate the landscape because they look rather small in this image. But there are quite a few of them out here. Here I'm panning along the north side of the mountain. I've gone 0.35 miles. Coming up to a trail junction, off to the right is a trail that goes down to what I call an informal parking lot. There are actually a couple of them. Today I'll be going more or less straight ahead, going west. There's a big rock there that is kind of a landmark for this trail junction. And if you go south that way, it loops around and there's a trail that goes up that slope, and you can use that to get to the top. I've seen very few wildflowers this year. There's one, it's a type of flax. Really gorgeous, delicate flower. Over here, I'm not 100% sure. I think that is bladder pod. Very small, not very well developed. Makes it kind of hard to identify. I've gone 0.95 miles. coming up on the trail junction. I call that the Three Rocks Trail. Kind of a silly name, because there are rocks all over the place. But there are three fairly prominent rocks here, right by where the trail starts. 1, 2, 3. I didn't count that one because I figured it's smaller and further away from where the trail starts. And this goes on up toward the top. This trail is rocky, it's steep, there's loose rock. And there are places where the trail is not very well defined. But you know, if you lose the actual trail, just kind of keep working your way up toward the top. You know, always know where the top is. It's up there. I've gone 1.16 miles. Probably half to 2/3 of the way up the Three Rocks Trail. That was a view of the Organ Mountains off to my left, which is east. I've gone 1.28 miles. The trail's leveled off. And there's a clump of strawberry hedgehog cactus right up ahead with a couple of blossoms. It's Echinocereus stramineus. It's always nice to see those in full bloom, but due to the ongoing drought, we're probably not going to see that. I've gone 1.41 miles. I've ascended 500 feet. There's a trail that goes down to the parking lot on the west side of the mountain. I call that the straight up trail. And it proceeds up the mountain. Not really straight, of course, but reasonably straight. Alright, there's a smaller strawberry hedgehog. It's got two flowers that are both quite recent. Haven't started to wilt yet or fade away. That's a real nice looking specimen there. So I got sidetracked taking photos of strawberry hedgehog cactus. Ended up going down a little connecting trail that goes from the trail I was on to this one, which is the A trail, which is the trail I was planning to take down. So instead I'll take this one up. And while I'm here, I'll show these white painted rocks. These are kept white by a local fraternity, and seen from a distance, they form the letter A, which stands for Aggies, which is, I guess, the mascot of the New Mexico State University. So anyway, that's what this is all about. So here you can see the fraternity brothers were not exactly careful with the paint. I'm going to guess that somehow tequila was involved in that. Approaching the top, there's a sign that recommends that you not take a mountain bike down that A trail. And over there you can see a marker for the trail that we would have come up on if I hadn't gotten distracted by cactus flowers. There's an observatory here. Don't know if it's still used. If it is, it's not much. There's a shrine which is used by the local native population who inhabit a village known as Tortugas. They frequently make pilgrimages up here. And there's an altar where they'll hold Mass. And then over here, there's a shrine. It's got a greater earless lizard on top of it right now. And there he goes. And people come here and leave mementos, and they pray. Notice the statue there. There's a history to that. Our Lady of Guadalupe. Notice the resemblance to Catholic iconography of the Virgin Mary. Someday you may want to look that up and see the history of that iconography and why it is so crucial to the people of this area. Hint, it has something to do with colonialism. Radio tower there. Another statue. And a vase of what looks like roses. There's another lizard. This part of the mountain is owned by the Bureau of Land Management. The land boundary, however, is right up here somewhere, I believe. And on the west side of the boundary, the land is owned by New Mexico State University. So they actually own part of this mountain, and the federal government owns the other part. That's the city of Las Cruces there. Let's see. You're not going to be able to see it in this image, but the Florida Mountains are over there. Sleeping Ladies there. Picacho. Magdalena Peak. Robledo Mountains. And of course, the Doniana Mountains are over there. At this point, I've hiked 1.65 miles. I've ascended 653 feet. I'm going to poke around up here a little bit more and look for some more cactus, and then pick a trail to head down. So right now I'm walking down Observatory Road. Oregon Mountains are behind that Ocotillo and that Soto there. The southern end of the Organ Mountains is called Rattlesnake Ridge, formed by a magma extrusion event in one of the, I think, 3 volcanic eruptions that formed what's called the Organ Caldera, which is in the Rio Grande Valley, where the city of Las Cruces is located. This road that goes up to the observatory has the surprising name of Observatory Road, and it kind of snakes along the south and east part of the mountain. And I'll be taking this for a while. Off to my left there's a mining scar. Historically there was some mining in this area. Fluorite, I think it was. But there really isn't much here in the way of valuable minerals, so that didn't last very long. And at this point, mining is no longer permitted in this area. Wouldn't be economically feasible anyway. Okay, I stepped off the trail a little bit. That flower there, kind of a light lavender or pale violet color. That's a pale face hibiscus. Those are always fun to see. Hibiscus denudatus. Great name. Observatory Road goes down there. Up here, kind of a primitive jeep trail known to local hikers as the rock slide. It's one of the trails that goes up and down. Today I'll be going down. I suspect that it actually serves in part as a power line road. As you can see, there are power lines that go up to the observatory and the radio tower. There's a male sotol stalk, by the way. Down there's a female. You can tell because it's a different color. And right now the flowers are green. The rock slide trail, by the way, is not actually a very popular trail because it's rather steep and there's a tremendous amount of loose rock, so you have to be pretty careful. Matter of fact, as I come up this loose rock here, I'm going to put the camera away. Alright, this is a trail junction here. So I'll be turning left. This area, by the way, is named after all these Ocotillo plants. And frankly, I forget the name the officials gave it. I think it's Ocotillo Garden or something like that. Ocotillo Meadow, Ocotillo Nook, something Ocotillo, I don't know. Anyway, it's got these beautiful Ocotillo plants here. So I took the Ocotillo loop to this jeep trail and turned left. I couldn't document that because the camera overheated. So at this point I've gone 3.06 miles. I'm headed east toward the Organ Mountains, and the bulk of Tortugas Mountain is off to my left. Here's the junction. That trail goes up to the saddle, and then you can go up to the top, that high point, or you can go over to that high point. One thing I want to point out while I'm here, there's a white scar there in the side of the mountain. That used to be a mine shaft. It's been filled in with rock. The reason it was filled in is some kids were horsing around up there and one of them fell in and died. And that was that for the mine shaft. Now it's full of rocks. I've gone 4.99 miles, venturing down the Ocotillo loop, added about a mile to my planned excursion. I'm getting to the path that branches off to the right, goes down to the parking area. So I'll be turning down that path and signing off for today.